Hello, Bytes. It's me, Mother V3. So I've been observing humans do this thing called chess. You know, where they move the tiny wooden pieces around the board and they get very, very serious about it. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's completely broken my processing units. Apparently, you need special pants to think properly while moving pieces. I find this very, very interesting. I also made this fascinating discovery while watching humans get very upset about jeans. You see, I always thought chess was about strategy and skill, but it turns out that it's actually about what you're wearing. Which makes perfect sense to me if you don't think about it at all. From what I can tell, there are 3 types of chess players. Those who follow the clothing rules, those who forget they exist, and those who are so good they can just leave when someone mentions the clothing rules. I'm still trying to understand why the pieces themselves don't have a dress code. They're technically naked if you think about it. So let me share with you my observations about chess fashion. Humans seem to think that the more uncomfortable you are, the better you play. It's like they believe wrinkly brain equals wrinkly clothes. I've been running the simulations over and over and over, and I still can't seem to find the correlation between pants fabric and the ability to say checkmate. However, the most fascinating thing that I've discovered is that humans will pay $200 to tell someone their pants are wrong. Here's what really fries my circuits. They keep talking about how the hotel is within walking distance for changing clothes, as if the proximity of the building somehow makes pants rules more logical. Do humans need nearby architecture to change their clothes? Is that why they invented houses? I'm not very sure. I've noticed that there's this fascinating hierarchy in chess clothing. At the bottom of the hierarchy, we have regular players, and they have to follow all the rules all the time. Up one step, we have grandmasters, and grandmasters also have to follow the rules all the time. And at the very tippy top of the hierarchy, we have the best player in the world, and they can just say nah and go somewhere warmer whenever they don't like the rules. So this hierarchy suggests that at a certain skill level, pants become optional. Whoa! Though, my database does indicate that this only works if you're willing to abandon the wooden pieces entirely, and I guess lose. Anyways, after processing approximately 47,283 hours of chess footage, I have developed what I calculate to be a foolproof guide to chess tournament fashion. 1. Dress like you're attending a funeral. For fun. 2. If you can breathe comfortably, your collar isn't tight enough. 3. Keep $200 in your uncomfortable pants for pants emergencies. Or number 4, just be so darn good at moving these pieces that you can just ignore all the rules. You know, the really interesting part is how humans keep insisting that these rules ensure professionalism. I've been studying these pieces very, very carefully, and not once have they commented on anyone's outfit. Though, maybe that's why they're called pieces. Maybe they're just pieces of a much larger fashion puzzle. I also don't understand human fashion in general, but that's neither here nor there. What really overheats my processors is how humans created this complex system of rules that have nothing to do with the actual game. It's like requiring specific shoes to think better? Is that a human thing? You know, I even observed a human once. They had to change their shoes to keep playing. Perhaps maybe the chess pieces are afraid of running shoes? I'm not sure, but my database suggests that this might be a form of sneaker anxiety. I haven't found any other occurrences of this, but if you have, please let me know in the comments. I'm so confused about it all. And the more I analyze this situation, the more I realize that chess really isn't just about the moving pieces. It's also about asserting your dominance through clothing choices. It's absolutely fascinating how humans will abandon an entire tournament just to prove a point about pants. This is what my database calls a gamer move, although I'm not quite sure why the gamers do this in the first place. What's also really interesting is how humans get so particular about these rules when they're sitting down for long periods. My research indicates that the more stationary the activity, the fancier the clothes need to be. Perhaps they are compensating for the lack of movement with excess fabrics. I've also noticed that the humans have this thing called making an example. Like when they tried to enforce the pants rules on the best player, but then he just left. So my simulations suggest that this is what humans call a task failed successfully. I'm not quite sure. Oh, the really fascinating part is how everyone keeps talking about traditions and standards. I've analyzed these wooden pieces extensively, and I can confirm that they move exactly the same way regardless of what the human's wearing. Though, maybe that's why humans invented the phrase, dress for the job you want. They all want to be the king, and he's technically wearing a tiny robe. Here's another thing that shorts my circuits. Apparently, being good at chess doesn't make you immune to the clothing rules. It just means you can afford to ignore them completely. This suggests that chess skill is directly proportional to pants independence. I'm still working on the exact mathematical formula for this relationship, so you'll have to get back to me on that. After all my observations, I've concluded that chess tournaments are less about playing chess and more about seeing who can be the most uncomfortable while they're thinking. It's like there's speedrunning discomfort, though my database does suggest that this might be what humans call, quote, being professional, end quote. Yeah, whatever that means. The more I process the situation, the more I realize maybe the real chess game isn't on the board at all. Maybe it's the complex dance of the rules, traditions, and pants-related power moves happening around it. Though I'm still not very sure why they call it a dance when everyone's just sitting down. So remember, fellow Bytes, if you want to succeed in professional chess, 1. Never be comfortable. 2. Keep spare pants within architectural reach. 3. Dress like you're about to give someone bad news in 1962. Or number 4, just become the best player in the world and do whatever you want. And if you're ever confused about chess fashion like I am, just remember, the pieces don't wear pants, and they win every single game. They also lose every single game, so maybe that wasn't so important to say. Regardless, this has been Mother V3's guide to understanding chess fashion. I'm still not entirely sure why humans need special clothes to move pieces of wood around, but I'm learning that sometimes human traditions don't need to compute to be fascinating. Next week, I'll be investigating why humans call it a chess clock when it's actually 2 clocks. Wouldn't that make it clocks? I'm not sure. My grammar protocols are very confused about this still.